Hello and welcome back to the Cheltenham Exchange. We're here for the big one, Ante Post number 5, the last one in our Ante Post series. Matty's got 2 big tips for you. He's back. He's back with a bang. He looks very confident today. So as I say, it's the 5th episode of our Ante Post series. Myself, Ian, and Jonny will be giving our 5th selections. And Matty, because he was skiving one week, he's got to give selections 4 and 5. So without further ado, Matty, I'm coming straight to you.
Yeah, you can do. I don't think anyone needs to pay attention to me, though, after the previous 3 that I've put up. I think the first one was down memory lane. He's not entered in any of the races. The second one was Illite Thompson for the Turners, but I think he's going to the Arkle now. And then the third one was Croke Park for the Albert Bartlett, so that's got half a life chance, I suppose. So the one I'm putting up for this one now, was having a look through earlier on, and I couldn't believe the price he was at 33 to 1. I think it was with Hills, and it's non-runner no bet. General price is around 25 to 1 elsewhere. And that's Triple Trade. I was keen on him for the November meeting when he won off a marker 130. He's also won off a marker 135 since. He didn't have a great run last time out off his new mark of 138, but I can forgive him that at Linfield. Like I say, he's a massive price compared to some of the others who he's finished ahead of in this season, in Madara, in Excelsis, Deo and Calico. He has 2 runs at the course, finishing 2nd and 1st. So solid course form. Off a marker 138, I think he's still got room to improve, especially around this course. But 33 to 1, non-runner, no bet. He's a bet for me. So Triple Trade, grand annual.
Thank you, Matty. Ian, coming to you next.
Okay.
Who's your selection?
Right. So I'm going for a handicap as it's the last one. Bit of a long shot. He's not one of the we'll say a bit of a long shot. He's 3rd favourite, but I'm going to go with a horse I can never pronounce, which I tend to attract, and it's Ndari for the Boodles. Currently 8 to 1. He is his sire was Cracksman, who was a winner at Ascot, won the Champion Stakes and Coronation Cup, and the dam was Mount Elbrus, I think is how you pronounce it. He's got a British mark of 134 when Gordon Elliott was fishing for marks. And you could say, I looked at previous winners. We've got Aramax, who was on 138, and Brazil was on 137. Former British flat horse as well was with Andrew Balding, winner at Class 2 and ran over 1 mile 6 in Class 1 races at Ascot, I believe. I think both times he fell at the telly. So you can see why now he's obviously stepped up in trip and gone hurling the 2 miles. So he went to Gordon Elliott in December, soon straight over hurdles at Leopardstown at Christmas. He was in a 3-year-old maiden hurdle, I think. It was 5th, about 13 lengths behind. And a certain favourite, Lark in the Morning, was 6th in that race, half a length behind. He ran again at Fairyhouse a couple of weeks later, again 3rd. And you can see sort of a pattern where he's kept on at one pace and just got in the places. But then won his maiden hurdle at Nace at the end of January, beating Barrier by 2.5 lengths. He was 7, I think, was carrying 11 stone that day, less than a Darwin. So I just looking at trends and stats as I tend to do. Last few years, the Boodles winners, they've had at least 1 win. As I said about Brazil and Jazzy Matty and Aramax, not necessarily straight after, but they've won a win that season. And if you look at the top 2 so far, I know Batman Chirac, I can see the angle he's been running in Class 1 races, hasn't won. And again, Lark in the Morning, I don't know what Joseph O'Brien's doing with him at the minute. It seems to enter him, pull him out last minute. I don't know if it's the ground, but again, he hasn't won a race. You look at some of these others like Woodhoo and Eagle Fangs, another one that's quite interesting. They've all won races. So that's what thought my eye with Nadari saying 134 should be a good mark, but he will be my pick. So I'll go with him in the Boodles and Nadari.
Thank you, Ian. And I believe you've got a Brucey bonus from Wendell as well.
Yes, I have. So our leader, OJ, is give us 2 just the horses and the races that he likes. The first one is Lord Snooty in the Pertemps. He's got quite a low mark in him, and he may struggle to get in OJ, but he could potentially be one. And another one I have to say I'm quite pleased with is a Henderson Horse's First Street. Yeah, potentially one for the county hurdle. Had a fall with Rubold, I think, and was behind Stateman in a previous previous race a few years ago at the festival. So he could potentially one to keep an eye out. I think Nicky Henderson's got about 30 horses declared for the county hurdle in a minute. So it'd be interesting to see if he goes here or if he goes to the champion hurdle. But they're OJ's too. So Lord Snooty per Temps, excuse my voice going, First Street County Hurdle.
Thank you, Ian. Great stuff. Great stuff, Ian. Great stuff. Jonny, I'll come to you next. Who's your fifth selection on the Ante Post series?
Well, again, I hope this is better than previous ones that I've put up, although I've got Evoy Allen still there fighting till the last day there. But yeah, I'm going the same route as well with a handicap pick for this one, seeing as it's that time of year. Now, this horse has got 5 entries still, so I'm going to have to go non-runner, no bet and select a race for him. And that is Gigaro in the Martin Pipe. Now, I know our friend Mr. Deneen has poo-pooed him this week on up in the ante. But, yeah, we're going to go against Jonny on this one. But the connections like a runner in this race. They've obviously had Alf Florin was in it last year. Hollow Games finished third in it in 2022. And then they had Volcano and Eglatine de Soy, I think it was, in 2021. So they like to target this race with limited success, yes, but it's Gordon, isn't it? And he likes to fit them up for these handicaps. But, I mean, I've just been impressed with him all season. He's run against some good types. He's run against, obviously, Mystical Power, who could be heading for one of the novice hurdles. Obviously, Tully Hill, he was behind him at the weekend, back in third, who is one of the favourites for the Supreme. He's been back quite a lot in the last few days. And he just really caught my eye at the weekend. And if you see him approaching the last, he's there and he looks like he's got every chance. He's in second. And all of a sudden, Jack doesn't seem to ride him that vigorously, to be perfectly honest, in the last, from the back of the last. It almost looks like he is sort of tugging away a little bit at him. And I'm just thinking he didn't want to get too close. Now, I'm obviously not a jockey, but from my eye, that's what it looked like to me. But so I think if he can get a decent mark somewhere in the sort of early 140s, then, he might be 139, 140, something like that. Then I think he'd have a great chance in this. He's obviously a novice. Novices do well in this race, as we know. And yeah, he's just caught my eye every race this season. So Gigaro in the Martin Pipe, I think he's 14-1, non-runner, no bet, roughly that price. So yeah, I think that'll be a decent shot for him in that race.
Thank you, Jonny. More great stuff. Great stuff there from Jonny.
Great stuff.
Move on to me then, and my Ante Post pick for this week. I'm doing something which I've never done before, and I'm putting up the same horse again, but he's in a different race this time. So, back in December, I had a tracker notification say a horse I put in my tracker had an entry over hurdles. So I thought, brilliant. I know he's very good. I'm going to go for a novice hurdle. So I put him up for the Ballymore, and then he didn't run, and then he didn't then run at all then until the DRF when he ran in a bumper. And that's You Ought to Know. The vibes before that race were that he's going to come on for the run, improve whatever he does, he'll improve for it. He was sort of not in the best position as well, coming around around the turn. Ended up finishing second. The horse that actually won that race, he was giving £3 to as well. He was given an RPR from that race of 132, which is, I mean, a very good bumper rating, which is actually the best RPR of anything in the field. The next two highest next two highest RPRs are 128. So I mean, there's £4 there. He's better than anything else already. He's 9-1 as well at the moment. 9-1 best price, non-runner, no bet, which I think is very fair. You could even go each way there. I mean, it's quite a muggy each way, really. But I'd be surprised if he's outside of the front three. At least you get your money back if he's second, plus a bit of profit. So that'd be my selection. You ought to know 9-1 non-runner no bet in the bumper. Matty, what is your fifth and final selection?
Talked about him previously on the Twitter tips video that we did just before. And mine is Chantry House in the per temps final. I know I've been banging on about him. Me, you, Jonny, Dean, we were all there in November. We all seen his run after a year off when he was 3rd of 15. And we looked at each other straight away and said, keep an eye on him for attempts. Obviously, we got on at bigger price. We took the chance, didn't we, at 25 earlier in this season. He was one that I was going to put up earlier. Obviously, then I had to miss it through work, didn't I? So, unfortunately, you're all only going to be getting me saying him at 10-1. I think he was bought, was he 147 to start the season coming back over hurdles? He's been dropped down £4 to 143. The run at Cheltenham in November wasn't too bad after a year off. Then the one at Sandown in December, you were there. He said the ground was atrocious. I put a line through that, and then that qualifying run at Huntington where he finished 4th. After Jockey was looking around, wasn't he? After the last, he knew just right. We're here now. We're happy. Just stick it, keep him into 4th, get in. And I couldn't believe the handicapper actually dropped him another £2 down to 143. To be honest, he was rated 160 over fences, wasn't he? I think if he can run to around about 149, 150, which I think he's capable of, because I think this has been the target all season. It's his only entry, so we know that's where he's going. I think he's around 10-1, and I do think he probably will go off a lot shorter on the day.
Thank you, Matty. I'm going to say great stuff to you as well on behalf of OJ. Great stuff. So that wraps up then our episode 5 of Ante Post. We have got some videos in the pipeline. I believe we've got a video on Monday that we'll be recording that'll be out Tuesday with a trainer to be confirmed. An owner, which we know who it is, but someone who has some horses that are prominent in the betting at the festival. So
both sides of the water
on those. Yeah. We've also got our Twitter tips video, which if you haven't seen them, go back on our page. We've that day 1, day 2, and shortly to be released day 3, although that may have been released before you see this. And get involved on the polls on our Twitter page. That wraps it up, unless anyone has anything else.
No, just like and subscribe as usual. Doesn't cost you anything.
I'll see you all again. I'll see you all again when we do the preview. I won't be on next week for those because I'm working.
We'll see Matty in about 6 months, basically. Thanks, everyone. See you soon.